Every day, we're bombarded with messages from the media. News broadcasts, social media feeds, advertisements. They all compete for our attention and shape our understanding of the world around us. But have you ever stopped to consider how these messages are crafted? How they're designed to elicit a particular response from us? That's the power of propaganda. And today in Illuminating Insights, we're going to explore the psychology of propaganda, how it works, why it matters, and what we can do to protect ourselves from its influence. Before we can fully grasp the power of propaganda, we need to understand what it is and why it matters. At its core, propaganda is a form of communication that aims to shape or manipulate public opinion. It's used to promote a particular agenda or ideology, often at the expense of the truth. Propaganda has been around for centuries, and it's evolved over time. In ancient times, it was used to spread religious or political messages, while in the modern era, it's often used by governments, corporations, and other powerful entities to control public opinion. So how does propaganda work? There are many techniques that are used to create effective propaganda. Let's get to know some. Emotional appeals. Propagandists often use emotional language and imagery to evoke strong feelings in their audience, such as fear, anger, or patriotism. Simplification. Complex issues are often presented in simplistic terms, making them easier to understand and accept. Repetition. Repeating a message over and over again can make it more memorable and persuasive. Authority. Propagandists may use experts or other figures of authority to lend credibility to their message. Demonization. Portraying an opponent or enemy as evil or immoral can make it easier to garner support for one's own cause. By understanding these techniques, we can begin to see how propaganda can be used to shape our beliefs and behaviors, even when we're not aware of it. Now, we'll explore the psychology behind propaganda and why it can be so effective. The effectiveness of propaganda is rooted in psychology. There are several key psychological principles that make propaganda so powerful. First, there's the role of emotions. Propagandists often use strong emotions like fear or anger to provoke a response from their audience. When we're emotionally charged, we're more likely to accept a message without questioning it. Another factor is our cognitive biases. We all have biases that influence how we interpret information. For example, we tend to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs and ignore information that contradicts them. Propagandists can use this to their advantage by presenting information that appeals to our biases and reinforces our preconceptions. Finally, there are cognitive heuristics, mental shortcuts that we use to make decisions quickly and efficiently. By understanding these psychological principles, we can begin to see why propaganda can be so effective at shaping our beliefs and behaviors. Propaganda is all around us, and it can take many forms. Let's take a closer look at some examples of propaganda in the media. One example is the use of loaded language. This is language that is intended to evoke a strong emotional response, often by using words with strongly positive or negative connotations. For example, calling someone a terrorist rather than a militant can shape how we perceive their actions and motivations. Another example is selective reporting. This is when the media focuses on certain aspects of a story while ignoring others. For example, a news outlet may focus on a single violent incident during a protest, rather than the peaceful protest as a whole, to create the impression that the protest was violent and chaotic. Third, there's the use of images and symbols. Images can be very powerful in shaping our perceptions and emotions. For example, showing a flag waving in the wind can evoke feelings of patriotism and pride. Finally, there's the use of fear. Fear is a powerful motivator, and propagandists often use it to create a sense of urgency and persuade people to take action. For example, a political ad may use fear-mongering to create the impression that a certain candidate or policy is a threat to our safety or way of life. By recognizing these tactics, we can become more aware of how propaganda is used in the media and more critical of the messages we receive. Propaganda is a powerful force in our society, but we don't have to be powerless against it. By understanding the psychology behind propaganda and being vigilant about the messages we consume, we can protect ourselves from manipulation and make informed decisions. So, what can you do to protect yourself from propaganda? How can we ensure that the information we receive is reliable and unbiased? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Illuminating Insights channel. Share the video with your friends and family to spread the knowledge.